Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And it is most certainly Beer 30. Cheers. I hope you all are doing well for this Tuesday night Beer 30, where we're going to talk about some Q&A that I've gotten regarding our campaign back here. And we're going to talk a little bit about Baldurs Gate 3. Because that's a topic for me today. It happened to me personally, so we're going to talk about it. Today's selection on the Beer 30 is by the Paulaner Brewery out of Munich, Germany. And this is the Municher Lager. It's basically their golden lager. They're basic, and there it is, what she looks like in the glass there. And as far as I'm concerned, so beers like Budweiser and mass-produced American beers and everything, this is what you should be trying to taste like. Now, I know you're never going to do it, but and people that have only had stuff like Budweiser and Coors Light and Michelob and stuff like that, this is what you could be. Actual depth of flavor there. A little shade there at the American beer versus German beer thing. So for those of you that don't know, this is our segment where we sit down and have a beer. Whether or not, hopefully you're having something refreshing while you're watching this, it makes it more enjoyable, I would think. Now, if you haven't already done so, please click like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, merch link below, all that good stuff. So there it is for that. That's all there is for the self-aggrandizing bullshit. So today we had a couple questions. One was a question, one was more of an affirmation, and we'll get into that a little bit. So the first one was, do I plan to DM all 7 modules in the series for the campaign that we're running? Well, my campaign is much larger than just this, but now we're into this. We're into the very first module of Against the Giants, G1, Steading of the Hill Giant Chief, which is part of a much larger series of modules known as the GDQ 1 through 7. And as you can see there, for character levels, it is character levels 8 through 14. And our party just happens to be right around level 8. Most of them are all level 8. If not, some of them might be getting ready to go level 9 at some point here soon. But timing-wise, they're right at the beginning of this whole series. Now, will I be DMing out of this? Absolutely not. This is what's known as the super module. It has all 7 of them, and it's called Queen of Spiders. It combines the G series, the D series, and then the Q1 modules, all into one super module. If you look this up on eBay, it is quite rare, quite pricey. So I keep mine in plastic, nice and safe, and it will be going back into the vault after this video. And I have play copies of all the modules that I don't mind if I need to write in pencil on them or fold a page or whatever. I'm okay with doing that. And then this can get put away. So my plan is, if the players want to do the entire series, that is a lot of content. That gets us through that'll take us, I don't even want to put a timeline on it, but it's a lot of content. It will take a long time to do all 7 modules. So, and they would progressively increase in level as, appropriately. So, so to answer that question, yes, that is the plan if the players want to do that, because a lot of it has to do with them. Number two, and I had to. Now this is where I've already had a beer tonight, thankfully, so I'm much calmer than if this had happened and I didn't have at least a little bit of attitude adjustment, liquid attitude adjustment in me. YouTube and Microsoft caused me to have to do this video twice. I've already done it once. And then I realized, number one, it was no longer recording. That was on Microsoft. And number two, I couldn't see the comments that I wanted to refer to because YouTube on your phone, if you have YouTube Studio, which if you're a content creator, you have YouTube Studio, it doesn't allow you to see the goddamn comments from a live broadcast. Like, I can see all the comments from my videos that I've done, like this one, where I do it and then upload it. But my lives on the phone, on mobile, you cannot see your comments, which is where this person commented. So, because I was in the middle of recording, trying to find the comment on my phone so I could talk intelligently about it, and I ended up putting my camera recording software in a window just so I could get to YouTube to see the comment. And just putting it in a window, like right now it's full screen. Putting it in a window stops the recording. I don't know why. That's Microsoft's fucking software. That shouldn't stop it from recording. All that's doing is adjusting what I see. You know, this shouldn't affect the camera, but nevertheless, it's Microsoft. So, and of course YouTube. So I couldn't see the comments. So now what I had to do is I had to take a picture of the comments so that I can look at it on my phone and talk intelligently about it to make sure I didn't misquote this person or whatever. So here we go. So, second thing, he says he has a rule that he has been toying with this particular series with the Giants, where anything ogre size and above, and ogres I believe are 10 feet tall, or 8 feet tall maybe. They're 8 feet tall. Hill Giants are 10.5 feet tall, I think. But anyway, anything he's saying anything ogre size and above, if they hit one of his players, he has their players do a strength check. If they fail the strength check, in addition to the damage they took from getting hit by the giant or the ogre or whatever, they physically get knocked by the force of the blow. They get knocked a distance. And then if there's a wall nearby, they'll hit the wall. They take additional damage from that, and then they're stunned for at least one round or something like that. Stunned. He has stunned D4 to D6 rounds. So you could have your main fighter get hit by a giant. He fails his strength check, gets launched, hits a wall, and gets stunned up to 6 rounds. I'm not saying I disagree with it from a physics and a logic standpoint, that if you have a gigantic creature like that hit you, in addition to being hurt, being damaged, there is the possibility that it's going to knock you off your fucking feet and into the wall or whatever. I get that. And you might hit your head on the wall and get stunned. I get all that. But my response to him was, depending upon the size of your party, the number of levels, and their sheer number and their levels, that could be very overpowering as a mechanic. And then he responded back saying, well, as with anything, you got to kind of test it out and so forth. That was the other comment. It was more of an affirmation. And I think he was affirming the fact that I said that I house ruled it when the Giants were in the hallway, the small hallway, trying to come out, and they were in no mood to get single filed and stuck in there where a magic user could do another lightning bolt through all of them. And the Giants made the decision that they were just going to use their sheer mass and push their way through no matter what. Yes, they're going to take a couple licks, a couple attacks of opportunity. But by God, the Giants were saying to themselves, we'll be damned if y'all line us up in a fucking line and stick a lightning bolt up our ass again. That ain't happening. And they just used their fury, a 10.5 foot giant. Shit, that some bitch could weigh, what, 800 pounds or more? I mean, good Lord. Humans not gonna stand in their way. They're just gonna go, get out of the way, flee, and knock you out of the way. And so I made the decision that they're just gonna bull rush their way through so that they do not get pigeonholed, in a choke point, so to speak. And I house ruled that, even though technically by the whatever you want to call it, the grapple rules or whatever the hell, bullshit. If a giant who's 10.5, 11 feet tall says he's coming through the hallway and there's a 6-foot human in his way, you ain't stopping him. Anybody that's played football on the offensive line, you can imagine a 6-foot offensive, or 6-foot, even a 6'5" offensive lineman. You put him up against a 10-foot something or other, he ain't stopping him. I don't care, 800 pounds, whatever, you ain't stopping him. So I made that, and I believe that this comment was affirming that my decision to house rule that. And then he gave his additional comments about how he house rules, like, them getting hit and launched into a wall or whatever. Again, I have no problem with it. I think if your party can absorb that kind of damage and not get like TPK'd on every encounter, then yeah. But again, you got to take into consideration the number of people in the party and their levels and so forth. So anyway, so that was the kind of the feedback that I got on my last campaign update video and my live. One of them was a live where I talked about it a little bit. Henceforth, why YouTube wouldn't allow me to see the comments on my phone, because that would have just been so easy to just keep recording, look at it on my phone on the comments for that live. But no, couldn't do it that way. So if I had a second computer screen, that's the way to go. I need to get a second computer screen so I could put my YouTube studio on one while I'm recording, and if I need to reference something, because apparently, silly me, I thought, I can just Alt-Tab while I'm recording and pull up YouTube, or put the recording software in a window and then open up YouTube. Nope, can't do that. Microsoft just stops the recording. So once again, Microsoft, thank you. So that takes care of that. Now, let's talk about Baldurs Gate 3. Today, I got a wild hair up my ass, and I said, "Hey, we haven't tried Baldurs Gate 3 in a while. It's still early access, and we didn't like it the first time we started it, because it was early on in the early access, and there was something about it. Couldn't put my finger on it. There was something about it that was bugging me. So I'd held off, but today I said, hey, let's fire that thing back up. There's been a lot of updates to it, a lot of patches. Let's fire it up. Excuse me. And so I go to fire it up, and sure enough, it had just patched like today or yesterday or something like that, another small patch. Went to fire it up, and it hung up on trying to load. It wouldn't even load. It was just giving me the spinning thinking, thing. I waited a while, nothing. So I did the Control-Alt-Delete thing, go to the task manager. Can't even get to task manager. It's got my rig locked up. So I did a few things that I've learned over the years to try and break through to Task Manager, so that you can kill a program without having to reset your rig, without having to do a cold reset on your rig. And I was able to get out of it and kill the pro. I finally got to the point where it said, do you want? It's not responding. Do you want to kill it? Yeah, kill it. So I'm like, okay. And when that happened, it said, oh, Baldurs Gate 3 didn't shut down, right? Do you want to check the integrity of your files the next time that Baldurs Gate 3 starts? And I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. So I clicked the little box. Okay. Off I go. Waited a bit. Started it again. It starts to check the integrity of the files. Perfect. It's the way it should be. It recognized that it was fucked up, and it was trying to fix it. Perfect. 15 minutes, it says. So it's going to take 15 minutes to check all the integrity of your file. Okay, I'll go do some errands and shit, or go do some chores and shit like that I got to do, and come back. Come back, had like 4 minutes left, waited, boom, done. Started up again. Same goddamn thing. Hangs up again, will not load. Okay, I'm done. I had to do the little trick to get it to where I could kill it. Get done. Bam, uninstall. I'm done. Until that fucking thing is out of early access and it's actually released on a full release, I'll reinstall it. You've had 2 chances now, Larian. And in addition to my experience, I did read on the forums. And some people I have a 2070 Supra, a Super card, on my video card. I don't have a 3000 series, but I have a 2070 Super. And people are saying that, no matter what, you're getting frame rate drop. The frame rate drop is horrible unless you have like a 3070 or 3080 or something like that. That they're having horrible, frame rate drop. And I was like, okay, that's enough. Between what I just, what I had, I wasted half an hour or more of my day just trying to get it to run. And based upon my first experience, I'm like, you know what? I'll save the hard drive space. Boom. And so if there was something else, like I just got Death Stranding. It was on sale. Big. It was like 70% off or some crazy shit. And I hadn't tried it, obviously. So I picked up Death Stranding. Well, now I got the hard drive space. I can pop that sucker in and try Death Stranding. So thank you, Larian, for pushing me towards another game. So I desperately want Baldur's Gate 3. I want to like it. I want it to be good. But I'm not going to subject myself to that kind of stuff. Anyway, that was my experience today. I appreciate, I believe his name was Adam. Adam, thank you for the questions and the comments regarding the campaign. And I hope you guys are having something refreshing. And until next time, which I believe should be a live on Thursday night, we have a live coming up. Until then, we'll catch you on the flip side.